As China modernizes, it faces an ongoing challenge to preserve its rich cultural legacy and historical sites in the face of onrushing development. The current restoration of Beijing's hutongs, or old alleys, is part of the government's campaign to restore the ancient capital's history. Wang Mangmang reports.
If there's anything that can reflect genuine Beijing culture, it's the hutongs. 74-year-old Liu Guizhen has lived in one such alley for almost 6 decades. Her bungalow was completely rebuilt several months ago, with the old look unchanged.
The restoration is the best thing that ever happened to old homes since they were built. Some were destroyed in the past, and the ones that survived were either changed to different layouts or are crumbling. I was worried that all the hutongs would disappear during my lifetime, but it's not a concern anymore.
Hutongs have not been alone in facing these changes. Some other ancient structures were also in disrepair, or they had to give way to modernity, along with memories they carry down to generations. In the late 1990s, in response to a chorus of concern from the general public, China slowed the pace of demolition and set aside 40 protected zones in the city center. Restoring history became a top concern.
The trend of development in Beijing is toward an international metropolis. But as an ancient city, its rich heritage also needs to be preserved. We're seeking an equilibrium.
Starting in 2002, Beijing made a series of regulations to preserve the city's heritage. No more traditional houses were allowed to be razed, and the construction of new buildings would be strictly controlled. And there's been no exception for the Olympics. This temple stands next to the National Stadium, a newly built venue for the Beijing Games. The planned site had to move 100 meters so the temple could be preserved. And this is just one example of China's promise of a cultural Olympics.
I think preserving the old is valuable, as well as the new going up. Maybe some of the old architecture could be created in the new architecture as well.
Do you want to see a genuine Beijing or a modern Beijing? Which is more attractive to you?
For me, genuine.
Genuine like the...
But then the Chinese people have a right to have their city as well if they want modern as well as genuine.
The citywide campaign to restore its historic landscape means there is a future for the past. For inner-city dwellers in Beijing, ancient buildings are living memory. Old bricks, roof tiles, and the imperial color are bits and pieces of the city's unique heritage. And for foreign visitors, historical sites are solid ways to understand the city's past. A modern but genuine Beijing is perhaps the best image to show to the world, if a balance can be well maintained. Wang Mangmang, CCTV, Beijing.